Hey guys, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our What Needs to Be in Little Nightmares series. So in today's video, I'll be going through a couple of ideas that I have about a Pale City abandoned shopping mall, a security guard, and two new main characters. So I'll be going through locations, puzzles, and enemy types, and things that we could see in this abandoned shopping mall. Also, once again, a very big thank you to Jafer over on Twitter for designing today's enemy, the security guard. Also guys, just before we start today's video, if you could please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. Alrighty, let's get into this new location and characters in the Little Nightmares universe. So the location of this segment of the game would take place in an abandoned shopping mall. Throughout this shopping mall there will be plenty of stores that have been completely deserted, without a trace of anyone occupying them for quite a while. Some of the shutters to the stores are opened and all the tables and chairs are caked with dust. It's pretty clear this mall has not been shopped in for quite a while. As for the protagonist for this concept idea, we would have two characters. You would play as the siblings, an older brother and his little sister that are roaming throughout the Pale City. The older brother's sister looks quite sad and it seems like they're looking for something. They start their journey roaming the streets of the Pale City. They keep walking the streets until they find the entrance of the Pale City Shopping Centre. This centre is a large rundown shopping mall that appears to be abandoned. As they walk inside the derelict building, they see all the rundown stores and dusty escalators. Whilst exploring the abandoned shopping mall, they come across the first store they see that isn't locked up. This brings us to the clothing store. The sign at the front of the store says Big and Tall Men's Clothing. As they enter, they see a variety of strange, tall, thin mannequins all dressed up in suits. The siblings try to reach the top of the cashier counter to get a better view of the store and see if they can climb through any vents to get to any other areas that are locked off in the mall. In this gameplay section, the siblings could use stacked up shoeboxes to reach the counter. Or they could even climb the tall creepy mannequins to get their way up there. Once they reach the top, there's a bunch of hats laid out on the counter. The brother pretends to wear one of the hats in an attempt to cheer up his little sister. Whilst the siblings are playing with the hats, they hear the jingle of keys. As they look at the doorway, they see a flashlight turn on. They quickly hide under the hat as the shadowy figure enters the store. As the shadowy figure gets closer, we are then introduced to the security guard. The security guard is a disturbing looking character with a flashlight, a set of keys, and an old security guard outfit. The security guard has an eerie look on their face and large disturbing eyes. You can hear the creepy breathing sound as the security guard walks around. You can also ever so slightly hear the jingle of the keys coming from their belt. The security guard searches around intently, lifting up piles of clothes, searching through the racking, trying to find these little intruders. In this gameplay segment, the siblings would have to move whilst under the hat, and they'd have to stay perfectly still when they see the light of the flashlight coming in their direction. Whilst peeping from underneath the hat, the siblings see that there's an air vent up in the corner of the store. They make a break for it and climb up the thin, tall, creepy looking mannequins to try and get into the air vent. The security guard then spots them climbing towards the vent and furiously chases them down, trying to grab the siblings while they climb. Just as the security guard is trying to grab them, the siblings make it through the air vent and travel to the next part of the abandoned mall. After making their way through the air vents, they come to the food court. This area is filled with seats and tables covered in half-eaten food and wrappers. All throughout the food court are rats and flies all over the food. In this area, we could see multiple food stores with strange and disturbing meals on show. Most of the food is old and rotten. Whilst making their way through all the half-eaten meals and strange food stalls, they come across a small dessert stall. As they climb to the top of the counter, they see an old dried up piece of cake just laying there. The little sister stares at the cake whilst the brother walks on. The big brother stops and looks back at his sister, sadly staring at this piece of cake. The siblings then sit around this piece of cake and the brother sticks an old toothpick in the top. He then lets his sister blow out this imaginary candle on this old mouldy piece of cake. We soon realise that it's the little sister's birthday, and her big brother is out to find her a gift to cheer her up. After the siblings have pretended to eat the mouldy old piece of cake, they then climb the steps of a broken escalator to reach the second floor of the mall. As they climb the old dusty steps of the escalator, it then comes to life and starts moving them upward. As they reach the top, they soon realise that the security guard is there waiting for them. The children run through the security guard's feet as he frantically tries to grab at them. The siblings, running for their lives, make their way towards the only open store they can find. As they dive through the entrance of the store, the sister presses the button for the shutters as they come down and close before the security guard can enter. The siblings now find themselves in the television store. As the siblings try and find a way out of the store, they come across a large stack of televisions. As they walk past this big stack of televisions, they suddenly turn on. The screens all show a creepy image of the Thin Man. As the siblings stare at the image of this strange man, all of a sudden a hand reaches out and tries to grab the siblings through the screen. In this gameplay sequence, the siblings would have to avoid being grabbed by the Thin Man and taken into the TV screens. The big brother could find themselves a TV remote and turn off one screen at a time to try and stop themselves from being taken. This could be a really tense and frightening puzzle sequence where the player needs to figure out which screen to turn off at the right time. Whilst the brother is switching off the screens to stop the Thin Man, the sister has snuck around the back and located the override switch for all the TVs in the store. Just as the big brother gets grabbed, the little sister hits the switch and shuts all the televisions off. The siblings make their way for a crack in the wall behind the televisions that leads back outside. Once outside, they can see the security guard searching around trying to find them on the lower level. They see that the guard has given up the search, and the guard walks back into a room that says security office. The brother then feels something tugging at his shirt. When he looks back, he sees his sister grabbing at him and pointing at a large toy store. But the toy store's shutter door is locked shut. It then becomes clear that the siblings need to get those keys from the security guard's belt. The siblings sneak into the security office and see the guard sleeping at their desk. The guard's eyes are still wide open, but they appear to be sleeping. In this gameplay segment, the siblings would have to be very careful to grab the keys off the sleeping guard. The brother would lift his sister up as she gently grabs the keys and tries not to wake the guard. Once they've grabbed the keys, they then head back up to the toy store and unlock the shutter door. As they enter the dusty old toy store, they look around at all the old toys laying on the shelves. But very soon they realise they are not alone in this toy store. Suddenly, the shutter door slams shut as a shadowy figure looms over the top of them. The siblings now have to hide from a new unknown foe. Alrighty guys, that's all we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. Now of course, this is only part 1 to a 2-part video, so stay tuned for next week for the conclusion, and also to get a glimpse at that looming shadowy character. Also guys, as always, comment down below what Little Nightmares ideas you have, what enemies you like to see, what you thought of the security guard, what you think of the siblings, and also the abandoned mall. Also, I know that there's a lot more shops that they could have explored in the mall, and if you want to list some down below, that would be really cool to see as well. But anyway guys, until the next video, I'll catch you later, bye.